Right, this is the first time I've done this kind of deal, so forgive me, but I've never done a video based on looking at as an article, but this is a PCGamer.com. I mean, there's a UK version, and I'm from the UK, so I don't give a shit. PCGamer.com / who gives a fuck. So, put it this way. It starts off saying EA wants to survey finds majority of players want games to be more inclusive. To start off, I am all along the lines of I don't give a fuck who I'm playing as long as they're a good character. I don't give a fuck what game I'm playing as long as I enjoy the game. But if you shoehorn characters in and say, well, they're this, this, and this, and don't really explore that or put it into a game, Apex, and say, oh, he's this because reasons. Literally, Apex gives you background for characters that really don't need backgrounds. It's the same with Overwatch. There is a massive lore, but it has nothing to do with the gameplay. And I'm all for including characters of all creeds, all places, all races, all genders, although I'm not getting into that shit. All ages, everyone except within reason. There's such thing as within reason. I'm going to put a link to the description of the. I'm going to put a link in the description to the article. I would not recommend clicking on it because I don't really particularly care. In fact, I won't bother putting clicking the article. If you want to find it, you'll find it. It's on PCGamer.com. You'll find it. So a study made by EA's Global Consumer Insights team has found that 56% of a 2,252 survey participants consider it important for companies to make their games more inclusive. 2,252. That is fucking tiny. That is 0.0001%, maybe even less, of their potential consumer base, and they've only taken that much to generalize what everyone wants. I wonder how long it would take me to research how many people are playing on any of their games right now, because I'm pretty sure that just using Apex alone, that number is useless. Using these numbers, you are basically saying, well, 10 people agree with this, therefore the entire majority should believe this. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't give a shit what the character is as long as they are well written. You can't just go, here's a white character in the middle of Africa, reasons. You've got to give reason to put them in there. For example, Resident Evil 5 is the thing I literally just took that from. He's in Africa because he's been told that maybe there is a zombie outbreak there. He meets up with Second Agent, who is from that area, and is also a good character, to find out the problem. And I'm not going to get into the shit that was connected to that, because there's a lot of shit that's old news, really old news now, but I may talk about it in the future if anything brings it up or anything. I may actually start just doing these type of videos just so I can talk about them, because sometimes I see all these things, I see other people's opinions, and I'm like, I don't agree with everything you say, but I want to share my opinion, and I really should use it. I've got this platform. I am going to use it. Don't question this. This is I like my stuff. In fact, you might not even see it when my editing gets involved. So basically, let's see where we're at. 31% were neutral on the matter, and 13% that the inclusion was not important. Honestly, I don't think it's important. If you set something in a certain country, the majority of that country is going to be a certain demographic. No shit. If it's a a game that's set in fiction, make it so it makes sense. I'm not going to go to Planet X, who's ruled by... who's basically the majority of the people of intelligent life are the Quizagans. It's the first name a word I came up with. And everything that's going on there is them. Suddenly, there's a human there for no fucking reason. EA's Jenny Shi? Forgive me. Or is it Shy? Forgive me on pronunciations, I suck at that. Led the study and posted the findings earlier this month. Cheers at Lisa Questions. Inclusion is a broad term, but she provided examples to give participants in additional context, such as character creators that allow for a range of skin colors, body styles, stories that include culturally diverse characters, healthy, friendly in-game chat experiences, and features that allow those with special needs to... Right. There are 3 different types of inclusions here, and that really would call for 3 different different surveys. Because if you lump them all together, it's going to make something look a lot more important than it is. I am all for everyone playing video games. I know it doesn't matter where you come from. There are people out there who play Street Fighter. There's a man out there who plays Street Fighter with his tongue better than I could with my 2 working hands. I don't know the man. I would love to. I would just like, yeah. There are people out there who would love to play video games, but they can't afford it. I mean, there are free games out there. Apex Legends is a free game, but you still need like the equipment to get to it. Not everyone can afford high-end PCs. Not everyone can afford consoles. You get my picture. But let's see. So I would split this up into 3 surveys. One about characters and stuff. This one's based around characters and character diversity, which is cool. I like playing different characters as long as they bring something interesting. I don't count the games in this case with very high, which are based around a customized character. Mainly because you can do whatever you want. You could be anyone you want within the limits of that game. This one in itself, the healthy and friendly in-game chat experiences are basically League of Legends is toxic, Dota 2 is toxic, most games are toxic. But the difference is that some of these games don't control their fans, and I don't believe in censoring speech. I don't believe in saying, well, you said a bad word, therefore you're banned, which is something that Ubisoft and Blizzard have done. I mean, Blizzard started banning people for the song, what's its fucking name? I don't remember. It's the one, I'm already Tracer. If people start getting banned from that, that's disgusting, really. And features that allow those with special needs to play. That one, I do think that to allow people with special needs to play is perfectly fine. I would openly support stuff that allow people who had trouble with certain aspects of games to play. I don't believe in, again, I also don't believe in dumbing down games. So if people could be brought up to play games at a somewhat similar level to everyone else, that's great. I love it. Don't bring down games to make it easier for everyone. But I'm going to say it, and I hate myself for saying it, but Dark Souls did that well. Dark Souls is a simple gameplay mechanic, but it forced you to get good. 45% that say they'll be likelier to play a game that includes these features. Survey implies that the backlash against inclusive features comes from a minority of players. Well, yeah, obviously there's going to be a minority of people that always disagree with shit. I disagree with shit all the time. I'm a minority in certain aspects of things. I think I don't enjoy what was the I can't think of an example game now. I am not a big fan of story heavy super story based games. It's like I've played those Japanese type dating sims. I'm not a big fan of those games. I've played a couple of them that were brought to my attention because why not? I mean, I actually have a copy of Heartful Boyfriend, which I've not played because it was part of a Humble Bundle, and I'm gonna possibly play it in the future just to shit all over it. It's not just the participants that were happy. It's not just that participants were happy with more inclusive games, they wanted the games to go further. While over 50% believed that representation was getting better across the board, the report found that many players want to improve quality of representation. That is right. Actually, I completely agree with that. Don't just stick a gay guy or stick a black person or whatever. I don't give a shit. If you just stick a person in there with no real reason to be there, you're not doing good representation. If you force characters in there that don't really fit the bill, it doesn't make sense. Unless you write them so they fit the bill, I completely agree. A lot of the times, it's all about the writing rather than just sticking a player in there. Despite notable increases, despite the notable... I can't read. It's like 9:45 at night. I've been at work for most of the day, and I just saw this and I had to talk about it. Despite the notable increase in representation, many players stress that diversity and inclusion shouldn't simply be a checkbox for game developers, and that it should come from a genuine place. Yes! That's all I really want to say to that. They don't just want to see more variety of characters, they also want characters that seem authentic and have substantial and meaningful roles instead of falling into stereotypes. Basically everything I've just been saying right now. Normally I don't read these ones, but this one caught my eye and I was like, okay. I checked out the comments before clicking the link and I was like, okay, why are they talking about such a small, tiny thing? Again, it's 2,252 people. You can't get a general idea of what a lot of gamers want without getting a much if that maybe had 2 more figures on it, it would make a bit more sense. But 2,000 people out of the millions of gamers, millions, that doesn't really help. The survey also examined participants' biggest gamers concerned. Toxicity was the second biggest concern among players in the survey, just under game quality. I mean, there are a lot of games where the toxicity is actually really bad. For example, a lot of first-person shooters, for example, Call of Duty, and I had it in my head just for a second and it's gone. Yeah, I'll just use Call of Duty as an example. There are a lot of people in the game that spew things that can be representative of stuff that is extremely toxic, but a lot of it needs to be taken with a pinch of salt, because some of it's just banter. Some people take it really too far and think that this telling someone to go die in a hole is banter. That's not banter, that's being a dick. My preference is, you can joke around saying, I'm going to wreck you, get ready to go. I can't think of an insult that isn't swearing, really. And using extreme stereotypical what's the words? I don't English good, and I'm come from England. But basically using extreme language never really is banter. Being just a little bit of a shitlord is fine. I mean, saying people that they're going to just sleep with your mum is... Honestly, that's basically been the forefront of most of the banter in games. Professionals do need to be held to higher standards. People in like the League of Legends, esports champions, the people who play other games professionally, Twitch streamers who are very up-notch, they are scrutinized for reasons including the fact that they are well known, they're seen by a lot of people of all ages, of all places, and that's important. 61% they were very or somewhat concerned about toxicity, with 14% that unfriendly community put them off playing some games. Yeah, I know a few people have been put off playing League of Legends because of the community, and I completely understand, but there are such things as the mute and block button, which can enhance your gaming. All you have to do is just take the one extra step to just shut them up. They literally have no power over you when you're playing the game. The best you can do is implement the block and mute features that the game will give you. If you get so upset by someone calling you a noob every I'm take it as what you will. Some people being called a noob is absolutely devastating for them, but to me, I can't think of anything worse without being extreme. And I don't want to really use the extreme language beyond the fact that I've already effed them blind in this. I don't care. I just don't want to use the excessive language constantly. The unfriended communities are easily you can just shut them up by muting them. That's it. Grow thicker skin, mute them, and play the game. That's all you're there to play. You're not there to listen to them. If they're not helping you, don't listen to them. Most also believe that it's not getting better, with over 50% playing that toxicity management and player behaviour stayed the same the past 2 years. Honestly, there's a difference between toxicity management and basically blocking people from a game that they have a right to play. I believe that implementing such things as chat bans is perfectly fine, but banning people entirely from the game for maybe a couple of occasions of using extreme language or being an absolute cockend is over the top, especially when it's maybe Siege. Siege has an awful community. Some people are really cool, but quite often I actually came across it got to a point where I didn't really want to talk unless someone talked first and they were nice about it. And I was constantly joining the games and going, "Hi, how is everyone doing? Do you want to play it? Let's play." And being told to shut up. Yeah, that hurts. But it didn't stop me playing the game. I just ignored them and kept playing the game. I just didn't talk. You don't have to talk in these things. Toxic community, again, you could bring that up into its own survey, for example. Its own survey of different games that need their toxic community controlled. Toxic behavior doesn't stem just from talking. It also includes stuff like how they're playing. Are they team killing? Are they wasting? Are they giving kills out when they shouldn't? Are they basically helping the enemy? I don't believe toxic behavior should be allowed. But I also don't believe in banning people from games that they're allowed to play. They can play. It's a weird balance of awful shit. I really would probably talk about this more in detail, or I'll find something else to talk. I'll find some subjects to talk about. I don't know how I've managed to pull this into a 20-minute video. I honestly don't. But if you want me to do some more things, talking about different subjects, including these ones, I like doing these talking videos because it gives me a little break, and I do like to state my opinion. I'm not gonna lie. I have a small ego, and I like to use him. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I stated my opinion. Get over it. If you disagree with me on anything, feel free to talk to me down in the comments. Don't just say, "Well, his opinion's wrong. Go away." Oh, that's a button I didn't know. Anyway, I'll see you next time in the next video. Also, I will be playing more Apex in the future if I can get a video that doesn't get copyrighted by people who are badly copyrighting things. Bye now. Oh, God.